an ETL job completed with 0 rows, causing 12 hours of missing downstream reports. The culprit? Force STARTJOB bypassed all conditions, including the file watcher that should have waited for the source file. Let's break down AutoSys sendevent command, how it works, and the exact mistake behind that failure. Sendevent sends structured event messages to the event processor daemon, which then evaluates the event against job definitions. It's fundamentally different from directly modifying job attributes. You're submitting a request that the scheduler processes asynchronously. The basic syntax is straightforward: E for event type, J for job name. Most commands also support S for the AutoSys instance. Always use single quotes around job names if they contain special characters. Here are the most common sendevent operations. Notice that STARTJOB only works if conditions are met, while force STARTJOB bypasses everything. Use force STARTJOB with caution. Change status lets you manually set a job to success or failure. This is used in recovery scenarios, but be careful. You're lying to the scheduler, and downstream jobs may trust data that never arrived. Use sFailure to stop a chain, sSuccess only when the work is verified. One misapplied success can corrupt downstream data for hours. Sendevent becomes powerful in shell scripts for batch recovery automation. But there are traps. Looping without a sleep can flood the event processor, and forgetting to quote variable expansions can break the command. This script auto-restarts failed jobs matching a pattern. Notice the sleep 2 between events to avoid overwhelming the event processor. Always quote your variables. Beyond common events, there are critical ones like deletjob and restart. Understanding nuances like restart only works on failure jobs can prevent outages. Deletjob is irreversible. Always verify you have the correct JIL export before deleting. Consider deactivating the job via JIL instead. When sendevent does nothing, the culprit is almost always one of wrong instance name, job name typo, case mismatch, or the event processor is down. This debug flow resolves 90% of issues. The article mentions @ for batch operations, but doesn't show a full example. Here's how to kill multiple jobs in one command using @ with a comma-separated list. In AutoSys R11 and later, the M flag for message is supported, but older versions, R10 and below, may ignore it. Always check your AutoSys version with autorep v before relying on M. After sending an event, use AutoSyslog to confirm it was processed. This is more reliable than checking exit codes alone. Ping sends a test event. If you get pong back in the event log, the connection works. Always run this before escalating. Running sendevent once per job is for amateurs. Use @ to batch multiple job names in one command. It's faster and less likely to hit race conditions. @ will not validate that all jobs exist before sending. If one name is misspelled, the valid jobs still fire. Always pair batch events with a quick check first. Every sendevent generates a log entry. When automation loops over 200 jobs every 5 minutes, you generate 60,000 log entries an hour. Filter before you fire. Write a wrapper script that counts sendevent calls per hour and alerts if it exceeds 500. Production incidents often start with a runaway automation loop, logging thousands of useless events. This is the same issue we highlighted at the start. Here's exactly why that happened. Force STARTJOB bypasses all conditions, including file watcher and calendar dependencies. The job ran before the external file was present, resulting in 0 rows. The root cause is using force STARTJOB, which ignores all job dependencies, including file watcher and calendar conditions. This allowed the job to run before the required external file was present. The fix is to use restart, which respects conditions, or verify the upstream state manually before forcing. This prevents the job from running before its prerequisites are met. Sending events to the wrong instance is the #1 cause of sendevent not working. Always use S when your environment has multiple AutoSys instances. If your script sends STARTJOB before set global finishes processing, the job runs with the old global value. For dependent operations, use autorep to verify the state before issuing the next event. This is the exact command that caused the midnight ETL disaster. Force STARTJOB bypasses all conditions, including file watcher. Always verify the reason the job is waiting first. STARTJOB only works if conditions are met. If the job doesn't start, check conditions with autorep queue. Use force STARTJOB only when you understand what conditions you're bypassing. Many teams have been burned by marking a job success only to find it didn't actually run. Always verify the work is complete before changing status. When a box member is killed, the box status may change to failure even though other members ran successfully. Use autorep box name to check. Consider using a box exit condition that ignores member failures. Job unice is persistent. Even after release, the job won't rerun until its next scheduled time. Use job hold if you want to simply suspend and resume. Start by verifying the event processor is running with autorep w, then check the job's current status with autorep q. Look at the event log for error messages. Send a ping event to test connectivity. Let's run through some common interview questions. What is sendevent used for? Command line tool to send signals to event processor for job control. Difference between STARTJOB and force STARTJOB. STARTJOB respects conditions. Force STARTJOB bypasses all. How to put a job on hold. Sendevent job on hold job name. What does change status do? Manually sets job to success failure for recovery. How to stop event processor. Sendevent stop daemon. And a few frequently asked questions. What is sendevent? Command to send events to AutoSys event processor. How to force start a job. Sendevent force STARTJOB job name. When to use change status. When a job failed due to infrastructure but work completed externally. How to stop event processor. Sendevent stop daemon. Difference between job hold and job unice. Hold is reversible immediately. ICE requires next cycle. Can restart be used on a running job? No, only on failure jobs. To recap, sendevent is the remote control for AutoSys. Force STARTJOB is powerful but dangerous. Always verify job state after sending events and use the debug checklist when things go wrong. Ready to go deeper? Up next, AutoSys autorep command, then hold versus unice in AutoSys, then force start and kill job in AutoSys. Find them all at TheCodeForge.io. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at TheCodeForge.io.